1.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Osun State Governor, Osun.
Very welcome to the news desk on Celebration TV. I am Sherry Queens Librima. Here are the news making the rounds for today. Senior staff caution federal government on unvaccinated workers ban. Government plans mass vaccination. Tunisia's president says critics plotting against the state. Australia's prime minister to attend COP26 summit after global pressure. The Naira crashes to record low at official market. Martinez extends Argentina unbeaten run to 25. Brazil trash Uruguay. Just stay with us after this very short break. I'll come back with the news in full. Do not go nowhere. You're welcome back on Out the News in full. The federal government defends its decision to bar civil servants without proof of COVID-19 vaccination from their offices starting from December 1st. The executive director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, at a media briefing in Abuja, says the federal government had enough COVID-19 vaccine for its employees. But the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria says although it was not opposed to the directive, it says the deadline was too short, adding that it would create tension among workers. Report has it that Boss Mustafa-led Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 had announced that the federal government workers without proof of COVID-19 vaccination or test results done within 72 hours would be denied access to their offices starting from December 1st. Mustafa at the committee briefing in Abuja says the directive would be applicable in all locations in Nigeria and missions, adding that a circular would be issued to that effect. The NPHCDA boss also added that the government would work with relevant security agencies to sanction those who engaged in sale and buying of vaccination cards. The objective of this strategy is to vaccinate a high volume of individuals through large sites such as federal institutions, that is the universities and polytechnics, shopping malls, religious centers, sporting events, conference centers and markets. Shuaib added that the government had also begun the decentralization of vaccination in a bid to include private healthcare providers. Now moving forward from that news story. Nigeria can't jump into development, says President Muhammadu Buhari. The President Muhammadu Buhari says that Nigeria cannot jump into development, but it must pass through the process. This is as he says Nigeria appreciates the support of the international community as well as global bodies such as the United Nations Development Programme at State House, Abuja, while playing host to the head of the UNDP Regional Bureau for Africa, HOSANNA Ezekongwa. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, disclosed this in a statement titled, President Buhari appreciates the UNDP for assistance to Nigeria. According to the president, the United Nations Development Programme deserves accolades for the assistance it renders to Nigeria in diverse ways, particularly in stabilizing the Northeast. He says the federal government was doing its best to rehabilitate internally displaced persons and also return them to their ancestral homes, but with meager resources. assistance from bodies like the UNDP comes handy. He thanked Nigerian-born Isiakunwa for her official visit and for coming home as well, noting that herself, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala of the World Trade Organization and Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, were some of the women doing Nigeria proud internationally. And now with another sports story. Ogun Assembly directs Abiodun's aide to begin rehabilitation of roads. The Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Olakunle Oluomo, has charged the State Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Ade Akinsonya, to put modalities in place for the immediate commencement of construction and rehabilitation of roads. Oluomo directs the Commissioner to embark on rehabilitation and construction of roads when necessary across the state as the rain subsides. Oluomo issued a directive while responding to submissions of a member representing Ado Odo Ota to state constituency. Musafu Lamidi and his Ijebu East counterpart Shola Adams, who spoke on the personal explanation at the plenary held at the Assembly Complex, Okemosan, Abeokuta. Speaking on the state of roads in the state, the Speaker noted that the rainy season remained a major impediment in road construction. He added that it was essential for the ministry to set out strategies towards easing human and vehicular movements across the state. Earlier in his submission, Honorable Lamidi commended Governor Dapo Abiodun on the ongoing construction of the Atan-Agbara Road. He, however, called for immediate action on all roads leading to his constituency, adding that two rivers which had overflown their boundaries, thus causing untold hardship for road users plying Owodo and Badagry roads. Now news coming from around Africa. Tunisia's president says critics are plotting against the state. President Kais Saied accused unnamed politicians of using refuge overseas to plot against the state, implicitly targeting one of his predecessors based in France. Tunisia is a free and independent state and there can be no interference in its affairs. This he says at the first meeting of a new cabinet following his July power grab. Without naming him, Said referred to a speech by France-based former President Monsef Mazouki, who has called the president's move a coup d'etat, addressing anti-Said demonstrators in Paris. Mazouki, who is Tunisian leader from 2011 to 2014, urged the French government to reject any support for this regime and this man who has plotted against the revolution and abolished the constitution. Democratic France should not be on the side of the dictatorial regime, says the former president. Said on July 25th sacked the government, froze parliament and seized a range of powers, moving later to rule by presidential decree before last month naming geologist Najla Boudin as prime minister. The president earlier this month named a government he will technically control. Said earlier accused traitors that seek refuge overseas of threatening Tunisia's sovereignty and urged the new Justice Minister Laila Jafel to open an inquiry. Still from around Africa, Zuma speaks to grassroots supporters. South Africa's former President Jacob Zuma spoke to his supporters for the first time since being released on parole in early September. The former ANC leader was released on medical grounds after serving 2 months of a 15-month prison sentence for contempt of court. Jacob Zuma spoke via a video link as no one knows where the 79-year-old is serving parole. In his speech to supporters in Durban, the former president lambasted the courts and criticized the graft investigations against him. And while speaking, he said They are a state governed by those who know what it is like to be oppressed and denied fundamental human rights. It is the state that has imprisoned him for contempt of court without trial. Something has gone terribly wrong in the country. South Africans head to the poll on November 1st to elect local councillors across the country. Zuma's arrest in July sparked a wave of violence and unrest that resulted in at least 350 deaths. Right now, we'll take a very short break. When we get back from that break, I'll bring you news coming from Australia. Just stay with us. I will be right back.
What business are you planning to showcase to the world? That which will satisfy the need of humanity? Of course, with Celebration TV, it will get the desired reciprocation you long for. We are committed to giving your business and services that quality touch of class, and you will be happy you made the right choice by placing that investment of yours on the right platform. Without delay, you can call on this number for your advert placement, partnership, or sponsorship of our programs. Celebration Television, your best bet.
You're welcome back. And our news coming in from the foreign scene. Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison says he will now attend the COP26 UN Climate Conference. This is coming after weeks of initial hesitation. Global leaders will meet in Glasgow next month to negotiate a new deal to stop rising global temperatures. Mr. Morrison drew criticism globally when he indicated he would boycott the meeting last month. Australia, a large producer of coal and gas, is under pressure to commit to stronger climate action. Its climate policies and emissions reductions are ranked amongst the worst in the OECD. Mr. Morrison says the Glasgow summit is an important event, and he confirms his attendance, which he is actually looking forward to. And now more updates coming from Italy. Strike fears as Italy workers require COVID pass. Italy's Green Pass becomes mandatory for all workplaces, but there are fears of disruption amongst transport workers and at ports where COVID vaccination rates are relatively low. While more than 85% of Italians aged over 12 have had at least one jab, about 3 million Italian workers are estimated to still be unvaccinated. The move to make the COVID pass compulsory for workers is amongst the world's toughest anti-COVID measures, and it is proving controversial. A worker without a green pass risks being suspended from work without pay and may be fined up to £1,500. 2/3 of Italians consider it necessary, according to the IPSOS option poll this week. However, opponents rioted in Rome on the 9th of October. This far-right Forza Nuova party-led violent protesters who vandalized the CGIL trade union building in Rome during clashes with police. Further protests are expected today, with reports of workers planning to strike or not go into work. At the Northern Adriatic hub in Tyrese, where only 40% of 950 workers are vaccinated, there are threats of a blockade and disruption to supply chains, as well as warnings of disruption to public transport in the industrial center of Milan, and also threats of protests at airports, on motorways and railways. Now news coming from the world of business. The Naira crashes to record low at official market. The value of Naira fell further by 1.68% against the dollar at the official market. At the investor and exporter foreign exchange window, the local currency opened at 413.15 per dollar but closed at 442.07 per dollar. The Naira had depreciated by 0.19% to 415.10 per dollar after closing at 414.30 per dollar. At the parallel market, the dollar was bought for 565 Naira and sold for 570 Naira, according to some operators in the black market. The Central Bank of Nigeria, however, maintained 410.91 per dollar as its official rate on its website. And in July, the CBN stopped forex sales to bureau de change operators and assured that it would supply forex to legitimate users through the banks. And still on business news, the federal government raises the PPPRA, CBN and others revenue targets by 754.31 billion naira. The federal government has reviewed upwards the independent revenue projection for ministries, departments and agencies in the 2022 fiscal period by 754.31 billion naira. The 754.31 billion naira indicates an increase of 71.09% from the approved 1.06 trillion naira in the 2021 fiscal period to 1.86 trillion naira next year. The figures are contained in the 2022 budget proposal, which was made public last week by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed. About 122 agencies are required to pay their operating surpluses into the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the federal government based on the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007. The Act requires government agencies to remit 80% of their annual operating surpluses to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Some of the agencies are the Petroleum Product Pricing Regulatory Agency, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Nigerian Port Authority, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, the Nigerian Postal Service, and also the Nigerian Communications Commission, the National Inland Waterways Authority, and the National Information Technology and Development Agency. The Fiscal Responsibility Commission says in May that about 32 MDAs failed to remit over 1.2 trillion naira of their operating surplus to the government. The FRC chairman, Victor Morocco, had explained that government agencies were expected to remit 80% of their operating surplus to the CRF as encapsulated in the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007. The Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning in its 2022 to 2024 fiscal strategy report states that performance contracts for chief executive officers and key management staff would be set with financial indicators and targets for each GOEs. Right now we'll take a break. When we get back from that break, it will be news coming from the world of sports as Martinez extends Argentina's unbeaten run to 25. I'll be right back.
What business are you planning to showcase to the world? That which will satisfy the need of humanity? Of course, with Celebration TV, it will get the desired reciprocation you long for. We are committed to giving your business and services that quality touch of class, and you will be happy you made the right choice by placing that investment of yours on the right platform. Without delay, you can call on this number for your advert placement, partnership or sponsorship of our programs. Celebration Television, your best bet.
You're welcome back. And now news coming from the world of sports. Argentina took their unbeaten run to 25 matches and moved a step closer to qualifying for the World Cup with a hard-fought 1-0 win over Peru. Lautaro Martinez scored the only goal of the game 2 minutes before the break with a powerful header, while Yoshima Yoten missed a second-half penalty for Peru. On his first start for his country, both mathematically booked their place at the World Cup with a 4-1 thrashing of Uruguay. Neymar and Gabriel Barbosa scored the other goals while Luis Suarez notched Uruguay's consolation. Brazil topped the single South American qualifying group by 6 points from Argentina, who have a 9-point gap to those that could deny them a berth at Qatar 2022. Argentina lost in the 2019 Copa America semi-finals with a 2-0 against Brazil. Since then, the South American giants have been unstoppable, beating Brazil twice on their run, including earlier this year in the 2021 Copa America final. And having another sports story, Lewandowski backed for Ballon d'Or ahead of Leverkusen clash. Bayern Munich coach Julian Nagelsmann backed Polish poacher Robert Lewandowski to win this year's Ballon d'Or as the Bundesliga leaders prepare for a top-of-the-table clash with Bayer Leverkusen. Lewandowski, who has been nominated for the prestigious annual award alongside the likes of Harry Kane, Leonardo Bonucci and Lionel Messi, is hoping to win his first Ballon d'Or next month after winning FIFA's rival award for Men's Player of the Year in 2020. The 33-year-old is in a barren spell by his own high standards as Bayern took to defend top spot against Leverkusen, having failed to score in back-to-back Bundesliga games for the first time since 2019. Bayern are also looking to bounce back to their best form after a shock defeat to Eintracht Frankfurt before the international break allowed Leverkusen to draw level on points with them in second place. Lewandowski has form in the fixture, however, having scored a late injury time winner in Leverkusen last December to knock the then league leaders off the top spot. We have come to the end of the news on Celebration TV News Desk, and just in case you missed out on the top stories, here is a quick rundown of the headlines. Senior staff caution federal government on unvaccinated workers ban. Government plans mass vaccination. Tunisia's president says critics are plotting against the state. Australia's Prime Minister to attend COP26 summit after global pressure. The Naira crashes to record low at official market. Martinez extends Argentina's unbeaten run to 25. Brazil trash Uruguay. And now we've come to the photo of the day. Just as the photograph indicates, your thoughts are what is telling you to avoid, your thoughts are what's killing you. Those negative thoughts you have is what is killing your ambition, killing your drive today. So do yourself a favor and do away with those negative thoughts. You can share your thoughts about this photo of the day via our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Celebration TV. On Instagram, we are My Celebration TV. On Twitter, we are at My Celebration TV. On YouTube, we are Celebration TV. Always remember that your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself or the organization you work defines your leadership might. As an individual who knows what to do and do so without expecting to be pushed has backed his way to success, be it known today that everything we do, everything we feel, everything we think and believe either has a positive or a negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. Make sure you are a part of nation building today. I am Sherry Queens-Lebarima. Thank you for staying tuned on the news desk. Do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Goodbye.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Osun State Governor Ibikule Amosu.
Nigeria.